Grand Rising, beautiful people, breath family, conscious breathers, Grand Rising. So we're going to be tapping into mental breath work, and some Q&As. So if you didn't get the memo, mental breathwork is finally out on the courses page. I made a courses page because so many of you have asked for it. Because some of you don't want to do the monthly subscription thing, and that's perfectly fine. So just more options for more people, more value for more people, as that's what it's all about. And something to note, if you don't know, and you're one of those people, don't know about like the depths of what Breath Family really is. I mean, you get the whole library, and there's like 100+ just content overall. But the most important part is the active participation live together, tapping into that. So I want to go over the mental breathwork course real quick, and then we'll get into some Q&A if you have, and then we'll end it with some like a mini breathwork session towards the end. Let's see here. So I'm going to go over the mental alchemy breathwork playlist. Week 1, we went over expansion breathing. And there's even a bonus videos. There's like 3 bonus videos in the whole playlist. And one of the bonus videos was actually me in Egypt going to a quote-unquote mystery school. And it was in the front of one of the mystery schools of what I was explaining with expansion breathing, which is the wildest thing. I'm like, wow, what great timing. I mean, Egypt had so many confirmations for me, but more importantly, the Nile River had so much information that still imprinting onto my being till this day. I even brought some of the Nile water home. Peace, God, Grand Rising from my dad and I. Well, Grand Rising, Ben. All right, week 2, we went over color breathing. I'll go over some testimonials as well from mental breathwork as well. Color breathing had a lot of people in an emotional expansion, if you will, just like the expansion breathing. Week 3 is touchpad breathing. Week 3 is very interesting. It gives you more of an expansive awareness of the psychedelic aspect of touch and utilizing breath. Something to note with mental alchemy breathwork in general, it's practical things you can do in social settings. It's practical things that you can implement in your everyday life. It's practical things, practical breath awareness, you could say, to also make it fun. And I'll go into expanding. This is for all levels of breathwork, and I'll go into why that is. So week 4 was a social inhale, interacting with people in conversation and in social settings with the social inhale, protecting your energy in a sense when you are talking with someone or someone is talking to you. And this goes specifically for people who have to deal with social settings and they don't have no choice, all the way from I've worked with people even in real estate, people who are quote unquote celebrities. They have to deal with people nonstop talking over and over, and these are some people you want to really protect your energy from. And at a subconscious level, it goes so deep. And the more you're aware of the subconscious happenings, the more you can sever the string that is quote unquote maybe pulling you down, and transmuting that into a more healing environment rather than a degrading one. So week 5, turning sleep into rest, hence closing the circuit. Very powerful, turning sleep basically into meditation, because that's what sleep is. Sleep is really unconscious breath work, in my opinion. Because the more breath work you do, the more breathing you're aware, the less sleep you actually need, no matter how much food you eat. If you are in tune with your breath, you do not need that much sleep. So tapping into Week number 6, water imprints, what the Nile taught me. Super, super powerful. And mind you, these are things, even in the office, you can do. If you're in an office setting, the water imprint is blowing everyone away. The water imprints, and there's one particular female I'm working with on a one-on-one basis, and she taught me the water imprint technique is actually an ancient practice in her Hindu tradition, but I took another spin to it that she's never even imagined. And it was really cool getting confirmation like that, things that aren't really talked about too much. There's Qigong practices that even the Qigong masters today don't even know about or even practice themselves. All these ancient ways can be enhanced when you just literally follow natural law. Natural law is king and queen. Natural law is. All right, so week 7, echo breathing. Enhance any Qigong, Kung Fu, martial art, and even the breathing practice itself. Echo breathing is one of my favorites. Echo breathing is what I've been utilizing more often as I've been working out more often here. So week number 8, breathing like you have it. What I learned from transmitting from homelessness. Very powerful. A lot of people was emotional for that particular week too, because I go pretty deep and talk about a particular story that I have yet to talk about in public. So that's a deep one in itself. And then week number 9, we go into shadow breathing, building subconscious muscle memory, fractal therapy, your own fractal therapy, your own essence of fractal therapy, down to the point of realizing that you all have halos. You all are technically quote unquote saints. We all are, depending, in a sense. It's all about awareness, right? That's all it is, just awareness. So, that blew some people away in that sense. So then week number 10, one of my favorites as well, gamma breathing. No mouth or holds, no mouth breathing, that's what it means. No mouth breathing or holds. And this was actually verified from the brain studies I did at Pathwaves here in Miami, with the brain matter also increasing with the gamma breathing. Super, super powerful. And we're also going to be utilizing gamma breathing in the breathful workouts we have in Breath Family. So I want to go over some testimonials here as well. Lessa with the gamma breath. She was just smiling with the gamma breath. It's wild. Gamma breath, hands down, is definitely one of my favorites these days. All right, so where is it? So this was week 2. Nana said, second day implementing color breathing. I've solved an issue I had with my dad for about 15 years. 15 years. Absolutely grateful, brother. Been crying on and off throughout the day. Yeah, wild. So that's some testimonials there. There's a whole bunch, but I didn't resize it. But I want to also go over this, the neutral mind. The neutral mind and this pyramid structure. Then you have the positive mind and the negative mind. All under reactivity. All under there. Now, something to note. We can't control what comes in and out this transmitter, this receiver, if you will. This receiver that is the mind. Since all is mind, right? We cannot control that, but what we can control is the reactivity. And the reactivity also goes under the positive mind and the negative mind. So why is that? Why is that? Well, that's the filter. Is your perception more positive or is your perception more negative? It's either or. In a sense, it's neither or is better than the other either. It all depends on your perception and the quality. Now, and you look at both sides of the spectrum, going back up on top of the pyramid, you have freedom and freedom. Just like they say, ignorance is bliss, right? That's where you still get the freedom. And they say the positive mind is still bliss, and that's where you also get the freedom. So it all depends on the level of density you as a human being, you as a person, you as a soul want to experience. It's all on you. You know, my life changed when I accepted that every single thing in my whole entire life was my fault. Every single thing. And the day you can admit that is the day you finally go in front of the driver's seat instead of the back seat. But you're also still the passenger and allowing the universe, God, however you want to describe it, to still be the driver. And that's so important. Super important. So I had someone wanted to hop on here live and they just disappeared. Not sure what's up with that. Okay. Yeah, I'm going over some Q&As, so if you guys want to tap into that. And I want to go over this real quick. Someone asked me, how do I collaborate with others when creating? How do I trust? When do I trust? At this point, should I have some sort of contact? And then I go, by acknowledging the breath in you resides in them. So that's one of the most powerful ways to combat social anxiety, in my opinion, to acknowledge that everyone around you is breathing just like you. Now that is a connective resonance that holds so much power that it will finally open and relieve certain social anxiety stress, all the way from public speaking, when I work with public speakers, all the way to even going into court. all the above. Acknowledging that every single one in this whole experience, in the now, in this moment, is alive. They're breathing. You know, people ask me, oh, you're so light in terms of energy because you don't eat, blah, blah, blah. How do you interact with people? That's not normal. Like, how is that possible? Well, I don't like to degrade other people. That's one. Two is finding the harmonious balance of energy within everybody. Because when you do that, and this goes beyond just feeding off energy, but it also goes to mirror neurons. It's just like, I was watching this funny video with DJ Khaled, and this guy was being somewhat rude, and he goes, hey, if someone held a gun to your head, how much donuts would you eat, or gummy bears, blah, 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 because he was making fun of his weight. And DJ Khaled responded saying, don't ever disrespect yourself like that. Don't ever do that. So what did he mean? What did he mean by that? And he's one of the few people that actually understood that people love to project their traumas, in a sense, right? When they're somewhat judgmental in a dense, degrading way like that. So what does that mean? They're projecting their traumas. But if you're projecting your trauma onto that person, and that person feels a certain way and feels a degrading energy, so to speak, you're in vicinity of that person. You don't think your mirror neuron somewhat is going to take on that? You don't think so? So how do we come into the balance of harmony? Acknowledging that you could be a crook, you could be a thief, you could be a killer, you could be all these stuff, go to jail right now as we speak, and all those prisoners in jail right now as we speak is still healing. Their cells is still putting things together. Just because they commit an act doesn't stop their being from healing. And there's so many beautiful stories of people changing their lives around and doing the complete opposite of what brought them there in the first place. So let's acknowledge that too. And there's some stories that acknowledge that people still go on their ways and still do repetitive patterns. There's two sides of the spectrum, no doubt. But tapping into that, the divine order that is, the essence that is living on valued energy, hence love, is still residing in everyone. And they're still breathing, by the way, too. So they're still healing. So everyone around you is still somewhat healing to a certain degree, right? So tapping into that awareness and acknowledging that energy resides in everyone builds a meditation in itself. Meaning, everywhere you go, oh, that energy is there. That energy is there. Oh, I'm getting used to that vibratory resonance. Even if that person's being somewhat negative, I can still feel that their tissues are somewhat healing, their cells are healing, but more importantly, their spirit. Every spirit within everyone wants to feel harmony. It always reminds me of that one story with the assassination attempt on Haile Selassie, where this gunman comes up in the middle of his speech in the UN, by the way. This was only printed on a few articles. I don't know why they didn't push it out, for obvious reasons. So, retracting from that. Yeah, he's giving his speech. Gunman comes on, have the gun straight in his face, about to blast him, and he looks the gunman straight in the eyes. And the gunman, I don't know, you can say some royals are taught energetic work, and Haile Selassie was definitely one of the royals. You know, a lot of people call him, he has King Solomon's blood, this and that. He even had Jesus' blood, all those speculation things. But regardless, most royalty are trained in energetic work because they have all the money in the world. It's just like, I think, in my opinion, I feel like Genghis Khan started this, because no matter where Genghis Khan went, he took the highest priests, he took the highest kung fu artists, he took all the martial arts, and he just meshed them together and say, teach my sons, because he had all the money in the world, right? So at that point, what else is there? Oh, I need to elevate my being, my spiritual being, my essence, because everything is just material. The material can only do so much to a certain point. Material is there to help, though, don't get me wrong, but it all comes back to spirit. So going back to the story, gun in his face, and Haile Selassie looking dead in the eye, and the gunman starts to tremble, and then he starts to cry, and then he drops the gun, and then the security people just came in. But what happened there? The eyes are the projectors. In Hollywood, they say the eyes are the projectors. But before Hollywood, in ancient Greece, they said the eyes were the projectors. And if we're going into science, and if you saw the video of bees don't fly, they levitate, one of my oldest videos, there's something called a Heisenberg ray, where they tested a ray coming out the eyes, where they had the eyes out like this for hours, and they finally tested a particular ray that started moving objects and stuff. I don't know how long they were testing this out, where the guy's eyes was open for so long, but they can actually test a particular ray beaming out everyone's eyes. We all do that. We all project that energy. So some people are better than others, or more trained than others. Let's use that. People are more trained than others to project that energy even more. And I feel Haile Selassie was very in-depth trained in doing that, and created that resonance in that person, in that being, to feel the depths of his soul, and his mirror neurons took it on, and that's what caused him to be like, okay, and he just stopped in his tracks, and he felt more human, so to speak. Anything that we may deem quote-unquote superpower is literally, in my opinion, it's just, you're just being more human. There is no beyond human. It's just being more of you. That's where I put it. Yeah, mirror neurons, everything. I wanted to know what the pyramid on your head does. That's all in the link in the bio with the science behind it. In general, I don't think it's on that website, but it also puts you in more into a theta brainwave state as well. My friends in the neuro world has proved that. I was robbed at gunpoint and I looked in his eyes. That person did not pull the trigger. Glock Z said. Yeah, there's so many eye meditations out there, and the power of the eyes, it's powerful. The power of the eyes is powerful. That's why a lot of celebrities, or at least people in the know, love to wear sunglasses, because they feel that they're blocking people diving into their eyes. But in general, I mean, your whole soul is there, so what are you really hiding? I wish school taught us to develop our supernatural powers and knowledge about the mind. So here's my thing on homeschooling. Homeschooling is powerfully great, in my opinion. But unfortunately, there are some parents that have to go to work and they don't have anyone, or, they're not in that position to homeschool, right? So my thing is this: always look for summer activities that enhance. I always said that, hey, if I ever have a kid, I know a particular I'm going to the Wudang Mountain in the summertime with that kid and I know what to do, in my opinion. That's just me, right? So yeah, summertime, always look for extracurricular activities to enhance your child's experience of life beyond what the school system is pushing on. Yes, we need to be real here and acknowledge that not everyone can do homeschooling with their kids. Not everyone have that time. Not everyone has that time. But as your kid get older and they can, somewhat take care of themselves, that is also a great time to also start, more homeschooling them and taking them out of certain public schools and stuff like that to a certain degree. That's also a practical measure of doing things. I know a lot of parents that do that. I'm actually part of 3 private online schools that has connections to homeschooling, and one of the part is the mental health aspect is so important. So there are a lot of online homeschools as well that also touch into mental health and breath work. I'm part of 3. And the 3 I'm part of, I'm not allowed to say. They're actually, they're part of 3 MLMs that are connected. So that's why it's more for like their kids, so to speak. It's like privatized that way. That's why I'm not allowed to say the names. But hey, if you have a online school like that, I'm totally open to collaborate. Later, I think when I come back from Mexico later in the year, I'll be targeting to make online courses for kids in particular and utilizing the breath in that way. All right, I just don't understand how society doesn't see public school teachings are like 90% useless and not for the benefit of us, says Jason Plumley 7. Yeah, and it's also sad because I used to go to private school like in the early 2000s, right? And then I transferred over to public school. Hands down, I noticed a big difference in private school teaching me how to think versus public school teaching me what to think. I noticed a huge difference. And I was actually part of interesting part of Renaissance in time. There's something called the Chad School. If anybody knows about the Chad School, huge. It was part of the NCAAP. Martin Luther King's family supported it. Malcolm X's family supported it. A lot of civil rights activists supported it at that time. It was a huge renaissance. They had karate. They had art shows. They had so many things out of the norm in a quote-unquote school, and really taught you how to... It was actually one of the few schools, in my opinion, and one of the main reasons I can still write cursive today's kids, not even, today's private school, unfortunately, is not the same as it was back then. So, times are changing. It's unfortunate, but times are changing. The private schools back then are literally becoming like the public schools, and it's like, what's the point? You're really just honestly paying for, he goes to this prestigious, so he has a better chance of going to this college or that. Hence, yeah. I was homeschooled for the first 3 or 4 years of school. Same. I went to public school and was like, what are they teaching us, LOL? And then to private after high school. Yeah, some of you, all right, cool. Yeah, some people are saying some private schools in the chats that made a difference for their lives. Yeah, man. I can't imagine going to a public school early on and then private school after. I'm really happy I went to private school first. And again, not all the private schools are built the same, but it was great. Also, this particular school wasn't just towards melanated people, by the way. This school had every nation under God in this school, and that's what they were pushing. They were like, no, this isn't a quote-unquote all-black school or this or Portuguese or Spanish or any of that. It was more so, we are going to push every race as much as possible to collaborate in this big school and teach these kids how to think instead of what to think, be creative as much as possible. And honestly, I can hands down say that the Chad School have left a heavy imprint on me and helped me think outside of the box, even going into public school, and I wasn't too much brainwashed, so to speak, no matter what. Public school in Paris, France. Not sure what you mean by that. Glock Z says, yeah, let's keep it blunt. The system is failing and it's not coming back. Yeah. Unless, we make our own private schools. But it's honestly becoming more people are they rather do homeschooling online and building certain communities that way. At least that's what I've seen with that MLM community that hired me to, go into their own private school. And it's very interesting. Don't think of it just like top CEOs. I mean, people who really specialize in certain renaissance of thinking and certain renaissance of building in general. These are the type of people that are in these online homeschools. So don't just think of top CEOs, this and that. No, it's more of, hey, how can I teach my kid dropshipping? But also, how can I teach my kid about coping skills, utilizing emotions to deal with the real world? These type of things at 10 years old, which is so wild and so beautiful and so powerful and practical at the same time. Yeah, these are the type of homeschools that I'm in. They also talk about nutrition, and they don't even push one particular diet. They go into how every diet is this and that, but it goes to, we even talk about frequency nutrition. There's actually a frequency scientist in that homeschool as well, and I'm even learning a lot from that particular person. So, like I said, the private school of yesterday is not the same today, and the private school of today is becoming more public school, if anything. At this point, you're just paying for the name, you're paying for the brand in most places, and that's why most people are converting more to homeschool rather than even going into a builder, even going into a brick and mortar, which is pretty wild. But that's the way it is. But most of these people who do homeschool, one thing that I do notice, at least they also push community gatherings and community activities with their kids in that sense. So it's not just online homeschool. They create events. They do, all the kids would fly out to a particular place with their parents and talk about agriculture, talk about growing your own crops, the whole 9 yards. This is the homeschool of today, which has transformed, and it's actually more flexible than a private school, in my opinion, at that point. All right, someone goes, what made you get into breathing consciously, and how fast did you feel any differences? What made me get into breathing consciously was losing everything to a business partner, meeting my mentor at the time, and my mentor had me fast for 2 weeks before our first breath ceremony, if you will. And the first session, I felt the difference. Okay, we're gonna get into a mini session later on, but I've talked about that story a bunch of times. Welcome to the page if you're new. How much do I weigh now? I'm like 156 right now. Mental breathwork been going in. Yeah, Sound God, do you want to tap in and hop on and share your experiences with mental breathwork? I want to make you an interview. Yeah, DM me. If it aligns, we'll make it happen. I already have so many projects moving forward. But hey guys, if you are in California, by the way, if you are in the West Coast, but particularly California, I am open to collaborating. If you have a space where we can do an all-day thing, just one day, I actually just might make it 4 hours, like a mini Brett Dojo experience, where we do 4 hours, no, technically 5 hours. We do 2 hours, and then we have an hour of rest, so to speak, and then another 2 hours tapping in. And if you want to collaborate and you have this space, or you know a space, DM me, connect me with the person, and we'll make it happen. Last year, I went to Cali. That was pretty powerful. We did it on the beach. So I'm totally open. And this will be September time, by the way. So anything after like September 24th, totally open. And then Mexico will be in October. Stay tuned for that. And we may host a Brett Dojo here in Miami soon. So stay tuned for that. I'm in Switzerland. Powerful. Okay. Mental breathwork plus scalar plus MT Qigong meditation afterwards. Fire. Much love, Sound God. Yeah, if anybody wants to hop on live, you're more than welcome to. If you guys are just joining, we're talking about the mental breathwork course is available. Link is in the bio, or just click the homepage and scroll down and go to courses. It's like right there. And I want to go over what's in the mental breathwork course real quick again, and then we'll tap into a mini session real quick. So week 1, we went into expansion. Week 2, we go into color breathing. Like I said, color is universal. Even if you're colorblind, if you're colorblind, you'll learn a lot faster with color breathing, and how psychedelic your everyday life can be with colors. So Week 3, touchpad breathing, utilizing touch. Week 4, the social inhale, breathing around people, protecting your energy. Week 5, turning sleep into rest, hence turning sleep into meditation, really closing the circuit, this electrical body here. Water imprints, what the Nile taught me, utilizing water. You don't have to drink the water, but utilizing it in breathing practices and utilizing the power of water memory. So potent and powerful in itself. Week 7, echo breathing. Enhance any Qigong, Kung Fu, martial art breathing practice. And I need to also put workout in general. We're going to be utilizing echo breathing a lot when it comes to our breathful exercises that we do moving forward. Week number 8, breathing like you have it. What I learned from transmitting from homelessness or transmuting from homelessness. A really deep insight of my experience being homeless and utilizing the breath in some powerful moments I have yet to talk about publicly. I go over in that. Week number 9, shadow breathing, building subconscious muscle memory with fractal therapy, your own fractal therapy, and taking a deep inner dive that way, and also getting in tune with the fact that we all have halos. And then week number 10, gamma breathing, which is one of my favorites these days. I've been doing a lot of gamma breathing inside the sauna, and it's so potent, so powerful. And I've been doing a lot more with my workouts as well. We'll be doing a lot of gamma breathing with the breathful workouts, but something to note with the breathful workouts that we do. Whoa, did it just... Do you guys see anything in the right? Let me know. All right, stop sharing. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know you can just put on the right. That's interesting. Okay, so something to note about breathful workouts. It's going to be a little bit different in the sense of utilizing scalar. So we're going to be implementing scalar with our breathful workouts. If you guys want to hop on live while we do the breathful workouts and your energy, so to speak, is connected, and then on top of that, I'm going to take that live and embed it with scalar frequencies targeting inflammation, stimulating more stem cells, and I'm going to challenge everyone to do another round, another time of the day, especially right after I do the modifications, and do it while you're in tune, you're watching it, and it's really blasting scalar frequencies right at you while you're working out. Potent, powerful, that's the way to do it. The course link is in the bio, and you go to courses. It's all right there. Much love to you, Jane. Yeah. So I also made the course section because a lot of people are asking me, they don't want to do the monthly subscription thing. So I made separate courses you can tap into and utilize however you choose. It's a 10-week journey instead of a course. Look at it as a journey, because you can tap into 1 week and just extend that 1 week until you really feel like you mastered it and have fun with it that way. And then go to the next week, and then, hey, I'm gonna need actually maybe 3 more weeks of utilizing this because this is so much fun. And then keyword fun. And then the 3rd week implementing it, and then shoot, I might need a whole month for this because this is really getting me to explore the inner depths of the now. Utilizing breath in everyday life in your waking moment. That's what it's about. When you first started, did you lose a lot of weight and then gain over time? Yes. Not a lot, though. Not a lot. I didn't lose that much. Only like 5 pounds, and that was only a span of like 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, we're gonna tap into a mini breath session, Any more questions, or if anybody wants to quickly go live, if there's anyone in Breath Family that has done the mental breath work and you want to hop on live, you're more than welcome to. All right, somebody wants to hop on live. And I don't know what happened to them. Oh, there we go. Greetings, brother.
Blessed day, brother.
Greetings. Are you in the?
How's your day?
Are you in the Breath Family?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Did you did you tap into mental breath work at all?
Every single week.
Oh wow. Okay. How was your experience so far?
I'm gonna just check.
Connection going in and out. Hopefully it's not me. Can you guys hear me? Or it might be him. Yeah, most likely him. Yeah, brother, just come back if you want. Yeah, but if anyone is in Breath Family and they want to hop on live and share their experience, you're more than welcome to. There we go. Yeah, you can hear me? Perfect. All right, so it's most likely his connection. Greetings,
yes,
brother.
It was me. It was my connections.
There we go.
Greetings, brother.
Yeah, share your experience with mental breathwork.
Man, it's really super powerful tools. I don't wanna spoiler alert anyone, or spoil anything, but I would definitely recommend everyone to hop on in. Expansion breathing definitely was a game changer for me. Like it's like this tool to visualize more or embody. It's not visualize, like embody yourself and the possibilities that you want, like expanding your own true divine nature. Like I felt it a lot on work related stuff, on stress and dealing with quote unquote hard people, on hard situations, stressful situations. I was visualizing myself expanding on infinite possibilities, but focusing on doing it with more love, with more patience for me, with more peace for me, on a more grounded way. And it was like that. It's really helpful. And well, color breathing, awesome. Touch breathing, awesome. Touch breathing, I've done it. I'm doing it whenever I remember. The color breathing, it's definitely a great tool to always be remembering to be conscious of the breath. Like choosing any color and being in contact with that was beautiful. And man, shadow breathing. Woo! Shadow breathing. Man, I'm actually right. I was sitting to do my breath work, and I saw you live, and I saw you on the. I saw that you sent a message to the group that you were going live and talking about this. So I hop on to share something about my journey, our journey, I think. And
yes, our journey.
Yes, it's our journey. And man, shadow breathing. Devon, this is beautiful, man. Like shadow breathing, seriously, powerful. I was, I'm right now at the city, but I was at the beach from Saturday to yesterday, and I focused it on shadow breathing, and man, some beautiful things happening on those 3 days. I was at the beach. The people I met, how easy it was for me to engage with some topics about myself that were a little bit under the carpet, if you will, and being in touch with those topics about myself on a more loving way, man. Um, it's beautiful, man. Thank you for this work because it's beautiful. Definitely beautiful. Yeah, man. And also a thing that I have been implementing a lot is I don't know how this one is called, but when you were talking about implementing, for example, 5 to 8 to the breath,
Mm-hmm.
man,
Oh, the
man,
frequency. Oh, yeah, yeah.
yes, frequency breath, man, that is beautiful. I have been. Oh, see who is in. I was actually sharing some breath work with him. This 3 days beautiful, and he actually experienced a little bit of some of the mental breath work that I have been blessed with in the breath family. And yeah, the frequency breathing, I have been combining that with a little bit of holding on the exhales. And this is, it's like, it feels like sumo without the need of on holding on the inhale. Feels like Tumo without the need of holding on the inhale, and man, super effective, super powerful. Um, I'm seriously learning a lot since joining Breath Family. Like crazy, crazy learning, beautiful learning. Yeah,
Fire. Did you tap into echo breathing at all in the mental breath work? Echo breathing.
echo breathing. That's the internal breathing when you're on the, for example, holding the exhale and you're
It, it's
on
it's
the.
it's the one where you categorize where your inhales are, where your exhales are, and then you somewhat echo it with the mental aspect. The one that I put enhance any qigong, kung fu, martial art, any breathing practice.
I think I did. I think I did. What I remember from it is like remembering the sound of the breath of the breath, especially on the exhales, and applying that while holding the exhales. I have been doing that.
Okay.
Like while holding the exhale, on my mind, echoing my own breath. I don't know if I engage with it in the right way, but now that you say it, I'm gonna check it out right now because
Yeah.
I was sitting to do my
I think
breath
you
work.
went.
So
I think you went. I think you probably went at like week. I think week 7 was the water imprint, and then it was on and on.
what are you, that was really 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 useful also. Like I haven't thought about that um before you said
Oh,
that.
I heavily recommend it, and give it like a month. Give it like a month, especially with the water imprint. I heavily recommend at least a month, in my opinion. If you want to drink it, I recommend like a month to
Yes, I
to
have.
use the water imprint. Yeah, some
I,
people will wait for like the week, which is still pretty potent, but the month when you drink it, if you wait till a month or put it on yourself, like pour it on yourself, wait till a month is it's super powerful.
uh, I haven't done even the week right now. I have done like 3 days
Okay.
um with Shivambu and an amethyst in the Shivambu, and it's really really powerful. And I thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna hop on in on that for sure. Um, what else? What more from mental breath work? Man, touch breathing was really incredible. Like using the size of the body on social gatherings, it's really useful. You don't really need that touch, like that. Yeah, that's like body breath work. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just
I don't
harmonizing.
know.
Yeah, the skin is breathing, right? The skin is breathing. All right, brother. I'm
Yes.
gonna have some other people hop on. They want to hop on. Thank you for
Yeah, sure.
tapping in, sharing your experience with the mental breath work, and you're always welcome. You're always welcomed on here anytime.
Bless you, brothers. Thank you for having me.
Bless
And thank you for
you.
all this work. It's beautiful.
Yeah, if anyone from Breath Family wants to tap in and share their experience with mental breath work, you're more than welcome. And this person just disappeared. Ah. Hey, Gerald, what's going on, brother? Okay. Thank you, Flying 406. Thank you, sister. All right. Okay, guys. Any more questions, or if anybody else wants to tap in and share their experience with mental breath work, if you have yet, let me know. Hit the requests. I'm going to see if any other questions are in here, and then we'll tap into a mini session towards the end. Share this live with somebody. All right. What is frequency nutrition? Well, frequency nutrition, you're getting bombarded with frequencies 24/7, 365. There is a frequency of your spouse, literally your spouse. Whether or not that's a good frequency or not, all up to you, right? It's not just frequency of like, oh, the sound, this pitch, that pitch. Listen, everyone around you is resonating at so many different frequencies all at once, right? And your mirror neurons take on those frequencies. So it all boils down to that. Frequency nutrition of how I'm sharing it, specifically with Scalar, because Scalar allows it to be more absorbable in the body. So I'll be adding some more videos to the Scalar library, if you have a Scalar, about turning your sucker punch into a more potent sucker punch just by using pictures, by taking a picture of the sucker punch and putting it onto the Scalar and running particular sets of programs that will amplify the effect of Scalar. Super powerful in itself. So things like that, all the way down to your clothes, putting your clothes onto the Scalar, it's now embedded with certain frequencies. Blessings. Yeah, we're going to tap into a mini session soon. Share this live with somebody if you found value, if you're already finding value. All right, cool. So frequency nutrition in general, all the way down to the type of music you listen to. That's frequency nutrition in itself. Everything you do, everything you choose to do is somewhat enhancing, degrading your overall frequency experience. Right back to you. All right, guys. Let's see. Anybody else? Anybody else? More questions here. Okay. So one right here. What are your thoughts on urotherapy? I think you mean urine therapy. We all do urine therapy, whether we realize it or not. Your saliva has urea. There it is. There's your urine therapy. When you're in the womb, you do it for 9 months. you're in the sack of your own urine for 9 months. That's one. It's super powerful, super potent. Personally, I don't drink my urine anymore. I use it topically, if anything. It's a beautiful practice starting out. But what urine therapy taught me in general, in terms of drinking it, it taught me the essence of recycling chi. Chi, ki, prana, however you want to describe it, recycling that. We technically already can do that with the power of breath. So that's what urine therapy taught me. I don't drink it anymore. I don't need to drink it anymore. I like put it topically in my belly button. That's one. I love putting it there, um, or soaking my feet in it here and there. Yeah, but I don't drink it anymore. Jules, what's going on, Jules? Another powerful practice with it as well is, like, you can drink it before going to the sauna, or soaking, or just putting it on your body, letting it soak in, then go in the sun. But personally, uh, what is a great practice that I've seen with people with certain skin diseases, so to speak, or skin cancers, is soaking in it in the tub, and then going in the sauna, and then going in the sun. Super powerful. It's like its own natural sunscreen, yes, but what's happening is, urine itself is electrical. So the more mature it is, I don't want to say aged, the more mature the urine is, the more electrical it is. You can even test the electricity coming from the urine. There's actually a whole bunch of tests that proves the older it is, the more electricity it has in it. All right. Pickled Fence goes, I'm not able to hop on right now, but I'm in Breath Family, and I will share that it is refreshing to have a leader who is aware of the entire experience and reminds you of it. It is powerful. Thank you, Pickle. Thank you, Pickle. All right. Jane goes, never tried it. How long one should try at the minimum? I mean, even just putting it on your skin, you're practicing it. You're practicing it. If you look at animals, particularly cats, they like to lick themselves over and over, and they heal their wounds. They heal their wounds with it, right? And why is it so healing? Well, there's urea in saliva. So just saliva itself shows us that it's not nasty, it's not toxic. It's actually super healing. All the way down to your tears. There's I don't know if anybody knows this culture, because I don't feel like doing any research on it, but if anybody knows this particular culture that does this, there's a particular culture that practices capturing their sweat, capturing their tears, particularly the tears, and keeping it in the fridge. And if anyone were to get sick, they would drink it. Very interesting. And it would actually help. Well, what's in sweat? Urea. It's not the sweat that is toxic, it's what is coming out your pores, the mucus out of your foods. That excess mucus is evaporated when you sweat. And someone goes, yeah, if you're a breatharian, if you're like a full breatharian, you shouldn't sweat. I'm like, you should sweat. It shows that you're breathing in your. If you don't sweat, I don't care how long you dry fast. If you stop sweating at a certain point, in my opinion, you are somewhat dehydrated. In my opinion, even when I went 30 days, I was still sweating. Even when I went 30 days dry, I was still sweating. And that's a good indication that I am hydrated and I'm not dying. Possibly the calcium electrolytes could help too. Yes, that's also found in urine and tears as well. I did hear that in a book before. Ooh, if you guys can find that book, please send that to me. Isn't uric acid a waste product? I wouldn't call it a waste product. Definitely not. There's stem cells in there. Uric acid, somewhat. All right, you could debate me on, and it's very interesting because it's it's a very interesting conundrum here, because this is where you have the debate of people saying why meat isn't good because it has uric acid, right? Well, there's uric acid in urine, so I mean, this and that, right? Well, uric acid in general is not a waste product, and uric acid has stem cells in there, so it's not a waste product. If there's stem cells in it, if there's a multi-billion-dollar industry in the sewer industry that is taking your urine and repurposing it for some pharmaceutical drugs, which is manipulating the urine to make you come back on the drug back and forth, which is somewhat messed up. And there's health beauty products that also use urea, check it out, and that are super expensive. The more urea that product has, the more expensive that quote unquote beauty product is. It's a very interesting phenomenon, but urine is not a waste product whatsoever. You can literally be on your deathbed, filled, pumped with medication, and still drink it, and it helps you a lot better than the medication itself. Now, mind you, if you do take medication, you should not be fasting on urine like that. You should learn how to wean yourself off of it using urine or other methods like breathing, breathing practices. So when your breathing enhances, you can absorb more nutrients from whatever type of diet you intake, whatever type it is. That's why I more promote breathing than this particular diet, than this fast and that or whatever. Breath is the key foundation to help amplify whatever you're eating, whatever you're drinking, because you have better gut. You have a stronger gut, and the stronger your gut is, the more nutrients. But it goes even beyond nutrients. In my opinion, it's the biophotons it absorbs from the atmosphere, the air first, and then your quote unquote food. If you really want to go into that, because when I work with vitamin D deficient people in general, they still barely go out in the sun. They mainly change their breathing, and then when they do blood tests and all that stuff later on in the coming months, their vitamin D levels rise, and they're barely in the sun. Why is that? Well, if there's enough energy in 10 minutes to fuel the whole entire planet, but we as a society, because we're not in that progressive mindset, have yet to harness that energy and utilize it. There's biophotons everywhere. Even at nighttime, it's still in the atmosphere. But it's because your gut is somewhat gunked up, or not strong enough, not responsive enough to absorb it, thus helps produce. It's not even chemical, it's more electrical, if anything. That electrical response giving you quote unquote vitamin D, or even more ATP in general. So I'm not diving too deep into that. That's another story. All right, so let's tap into more questions here, and then we'll dive into a mini session. I'm learning how to deal with my bipolar disorder. Beautiful. Breath will definitely help you with that, because breath resides in all dimensions of reality. So when someone is quote unquote bipolar, they're having different perceptions of reality. When I worked with this mental health facility at a certain point, I worked with two bipolar disorder, and all it is the more you can connect with your breath, as you feel that certain dissonance in your brain, it's not too much of a shock factor. Yes, they still have certain traits, but you start to. It was so interesting. In my opinion, I feel like some people are somewhat channeling, but if we're being more scientific here, um, they have deeper connections with different cerebral parts of their brain, and the breath helps with that connective response. if we're being scientific here. But in my opinion, I feel like with the whole bipolar disorder, it is in a total different sense of channeling. It reminds me of these group of people who dedicate over 10 plus years of drawing sacred geometry, of drawing the flower of life. And whenever they do that, they get into a certain trance. You start to see their eyes dilate, and and they can freehand draw the most perfect circle you known to man. There's a particular group in New York that do this, and you might come across them in certain conscious gatherings, so to speak. But just be aware of those people. Particularly, this is in New York. I don't know what they're called, but I met them a few years ago when I lived in Jersey. Greetings, greetings. I have another question here. May I ask? Yes, I'm gonna save this live for sure, no doubt. I didn't save the previous slide before. Apologies about that. But me, wow, yeah. Thanks, thank you so much touching on this subject. Yeah, right back to you. If you guys find value in this, do share. I'm gonna save this live, so if you're watching the rewatch, do share. Okay. Bipolar. Any more questions, and then we'll tap into a mini session soon. What's going on, Drew? Okay. Any more questions here? Yeah, Jersey. Drawing sacred geometry or mandalas in general is also great for people with any mental disorder. It's a meditation in itself. Um, and you look at the practice of or the study of biogeometry, which is what we use with scalar, but there's particular ways of moving your hands, and it sends a reactive receptor to your subconscious mind. By the way, this is studied by a person that doesn't even believe in spirituality, and he somewhat proved this, where you make certain movements with your hand and it targets a particular organ in your body, and this is what the ancient Kemets practiced. All right, we're gonna tap into a session because I've been on here so long. Oh, cool! I didn't hit that mark yet. All right, cool. All right, let's tap into a mini session here. I didn't even know where to start, what to tackle. But let's see what everyone's in the groove for. Yeah, I think it's definitely a much needed topic to touch on. Yeah, another live, soul, another live. We can tap more into that. So I'm about to head out. Got a lot of scalar orders and shipping out today. Okay. Any more questions, guys? And before I dive into the mini session here, I want to touch on we're going to be diving into breathing like the sun. That's going to be the next dive of the breath family, also with breathful workouts. Like I said, breathful workouts will be embedded with scalar frequencies, targeting inflammation, stem cell regeneration while you're working out. Now, that's the type of mentality we should all start getting in our heads. Like, even when I go in the sauna, I bring the tensor rings in between, and I work out in between the tensor rings, because if you know anything about tensor rings, if you point them even at the Wi-Fi router, and they don't have to be physically on the Wi-Fi router, but if they're in the direct line, they beam out that orgone energy, and you can actually read with the EMF reader. It actually goes down depending on where it's pointing. So I like working out in between that, and as my muscles contract, expand, going back and forth, you can say I'm somewhat absorbing it, or somewhat my mirror neurons. Always goes back to mirror neurons. I'm going to beat that in everyone's head. Mirror neurons. If people ever want to doubt about certain energetic practices, this and that. Mirror neurons is one of the number one, also with biophotons, of course, biophotonic studies. But those two are the main go-tos to finally share the power of the human resonance, the human energetic beings that we are. And I definitely want to touch on this topic. But before that, I want to show you a scene, since we're tapping into breathing like the sun. And I'll go into why this scene is and why I'm tackling the sun. Oh, can you guys hear this or no? I don't know if you guys can even hear that one. Let me know if you guys could hear that one or not. Oh, I guess not, because I couldn't really hear it. Let me try one more time. No. All right. No. Let's see. Let's try one more time. No, I can't hear it. But it was funny because the week that we're tapping into sun breathing, and they were literally tapping into it. It's the funniest thing. No. All right. Perfect. All right. That's okay. But breathing like the sun is going to be a beautiful journey. It's going to be random uploads. It's not going to be a week to week thing. It's going to be it's going to be one of the biggest parts of the breath consciousness book, for sure. And we're going to go into the dynamics of the sun. We're going to go into the physical characteristics of the sun and why um, we're doing what we're doing with certain practices and certain practical practices as well. And certain things that is I don't see on the internet or heard from anyone else, in the sense of when it comes to the sun and utilizing the sun to its full potential, utilizing and understanding the sun is a black hole, or if you want to call it black hole or a void, and why the higher we go, it gets colder. Shouldn't it get warmer? All these different factors we're going to tap into. We're also going to tap into Carrington as well. Oh, that was from Demon Slayer. That was a scene from Demon Slayer that talked about sun breathing. But it's not the same sun breathing. But it's so funny that they were they brought out how I'm gonna do this another live, but basically that whole scene was talking about how all the other breathing practices is based off sun breathing. They're all like cheap imitations, all that stuff that the father was talking about. So it's very interesting. I'm like, what are the odds? This is about to this is tying in so close with what I'm gonna do with breathing like the sun course, or sorry, journey, and tap into that with breath family. Lack of moisture in space. Oh, it's not that simple. Sun has a lot to do with scalar as well. All right, we're gonna tap in. I saw one last question. I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna answer that one. Someone goes, I still have a lot to learn from Savon and Dan. Well, whatever you're learning, make sure you can implement it. That's my main thing. How can I implement this? That's one of the main questions I ask. Emotional clearing. Oh, so that's what I wanted to touch on. All right. Someone goes, the one with the flower of life drawing. Yeah, when I was referring to the people in New York, yes. SV Valiant, yes. Scalar and breath can help. If you don't know what we're doing with scalar these days, let's say you have a particular cellular disease or whatever. So I'll take the video of the cells that are having that experience, actually put it onto the scalar, put a person's picture with the scalar imprint, and also utilize holographic technology, so to speak, and put that onto the scalar as well. And now we're being very precise, but now we're being even more precise because you have a whole list of programs. You can type in that particular disease or whatever, and then it will run sweeping frequencies targeting that particular illness or disease. And something to note, the scalar is not just for diseases and stuff like that. You can run stem cell regeneration, uh, kundalini, you can run seven chakras, you can run the earth's resonance to magnify the field. Even when you go out into nature and turn on the scalar, it is a deeper experience because we live on a planet, no matter how far you go out into nature, that you live on the same planet where there's cell towers and this and that. So no matter how far you go out in nature, when you turn on a scalar, you'll hear more of the pitch depending on how long the scalar is going to be there and depending on what type of frequencies you're playing. But you start to hear more of a pitch coming from the trees, and you're literally taking up the veil, so to speak, ripping the veil apart that our brothers and sisters, so to speak, have put on us and have dampened the Earth's resonance. In my opinion, we should go outside and we should hear certain pitches coming from the trees already, no matter where you are, even in cities. But we have built certain technologies that dampen that whole effect. Can you imagine? I can only imagine if we were to have, if all the technology, I mean like the physical technology that use electronics and stuff were to just disappear or not work, you would hear that pitch. So that's when you'll know if there's like a major blackout all over the world, where you'll start hearing certain pitches from the trees, or you're trying to figure out where's that pitch coming from. That's coming from the trees. And a lot of people may have some really harsh detox symptoms because nature is finally saying, I can finally breathe even more, so to speak. A lot of people will have major detox symptoms when that day comes, if it ever comes. Who knows? But if you read certain texts, they talk about that pitch. They talk about that vibratory resonance. They talk about that that energy. Everywhere you see a pyramid, you can debate whether or not the pyramid was used for this and that, blah, blah, blah. No matter where you see a pyramid or any energetic grid spots that use architecture, they were utilizing the Earth's resonance of sound, not just energetic aspect, but also the resonance of sound. Where quote unquote Atlantis is supposedly, if you look at the sky view of where Atlantis was, you see that it literally looks like a whole disc of speakers. Like the Earth is like imprinting the vibratory resonance, and it's creating that. And that is actually at a bunch of places where the crust of the Earth is weak. And where the crust is weak, the vibratory resonance coming from the Earth, you can see it imprint onto the crust, and it literally looks like a whole bunch of speakers. So that goes to shows us that the Earth is alive, one, but two, again, we should be living in a world where we hear that pitch. And I don't truly believe it was that loud of a pitch. It probably had a certain resonance to it that you can hear. But I feel that since Earth has been suppressed for so long with certain technologies, and shoot, I feel like the more, doesn't matter at this point, but if all the technologies in terms of electricity were to go out, except for us as human beings, that pitch would be so potent. That'd be loud for at least, I don't know, days. I don't even want to say months or even a whole year, but that pitch will be loud. That pitch will be so loud. I feel like it'd be so loud that it's not like even a screeching effect. It just has a certain resonance. If you know 7.83 or C sharp, that is the pitch that you would hear. And what's interestingly enough, when I worked with people utilizing that pitch for many different reasons, um, certain people can't even hear that pitch. Certain people can't even hear. Go look up, see. Well, I have it in the subliminal breathwork to sleep. It's really the C sharp you hear. Some people can't hear that pitch, and it shows you that some people are on certain frequency wavelengths that they just can't perceive that pitch, which is the wildest thing. All right, so let's tap into a mini session here. So on your inhales, and before we tap into that, I want everyone to get aligned with their spine, relax, breathe only with their nose, and have like an internal dialogue real quick, real subtle. What are you breathing into life right now? What are you accepting more of with every breath? Say that in your mind's eye. All right, I didn't bring my whistle today, so bear with me. On the inhales, I want you guys to have your hands high up to the sky. And then on the exhales, you really want to elongate your exhale as much as possible. And I want you to take your left hand onto your heart and your right hand onto your stomach. And you're going to be tapping as long as your exhale allows you to. And then the inhale, come back up. Go at your own pace. You don't have to follow me. Go at your own pace. And then when I say relax, keep your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your stomach, and just breathe naturally and really focus on elongating your exhales. Let the inhale come in naturally. But key thing is breathe silently. Breathe where you can't hear the breath at all. Deeper and deeper exhales. All right, that's simple. Still pure nasal breathing, no mouth breathing whatsoever. And I'm going to remind you as you breathe in silence to swallow your saliva. Probably at the third round, you'll probably build up enough saliva, but what you're building up is more nitric oxide in your saliva and more memory. Water has memory, so you're literally swallowing that memory of that breathing pattern you literally just did, in a sense. And that's one of the beautiful things about nasal breathing instead of mouth breathing. Because mouth breathing, you're losing moisture and you're losing that energetic resonance, so to speak. So, on the inhale, hands up, exhale, left on the heart, right hand on the stomach, and you're tapping. Go at your own pace. We're going to start with the inhale in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Relax. Breathe in complete silence. Breathe where you can't hear the breath at all. Deeper and deeper exhales. Let the inhale come in naturally. And start to swallow your saliva. Slow down the exhale more and more. Next round, starting with the inhale, go at your own pace. Try to go as long as you can with the exhales. Relax. Keep the left on the heart, right hand on the stomach. Deeper and deeper exhales into silence. Last round, starting with the inhale in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Relax. Swallow, swallow, swallow your saliva. Deeper and deeper exhales. Thank you all for sharing the breath. How do we feel? How we doing? How we breathing? If anyone wants to share what they were breathing life into, tap in. Right back at you. And this is something you can do while you're walking. You know, when you go into that. So while you're walking, you would do that, going back and forth, tapping, tapping, tapping. And then whenever you're ready to go on the resting point, you would just be still, keep your hands on your heart, hand on the stomach, just be still, and then go back walking, going back and forth, tapping, tapping, tapping. Super powerful in itself. Yeah, if anybody wants to hop on and share their experience, you're more than welcome to. It'll be on for replay, so no worries. My daughter came in and started deep breathing too. Powerful. Somebody wants to hop on. Hello there. Hello? Your connection is going in and out. Your connection is going in and out.
Let it settle down. Yeah, it takes a second. It takes like a quick second. It doesn't take too much of a second. I don't want to waste too much of your time.
The connection is going in and out.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Hello? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Can you guys hear him? He's going in and out.
Oh, man, that sucks. I really wanted to talk to him this morning. All right, I think it's settled down.
All right. Try tapping back in. All right, someone goes, breathing life back into me. It keeps my awareness on me. I am more comfortable allowing thoughts to pass by rather than dwelling on the thoughts. Ooh, I love that. I love that one. Breathing life back into me. It keeps my awareness on me. I'm more comfortable allowing thoughts to pass by rather than dwelling on the thoughts. Powerful. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Yeah, how are you guys feeling after that? And that's something you can do while you're walking. It's practical. You're not going to be lightheaded. You're not going to pass out. You're not going to have a seizure and all that stuff. It's safe breath work, especially if you're pregnant. There's a whole bunch. If you're someone that's been on the fence about utilizing this, it will make your pregnancy a lot less stressful, a lot less painful, ease, and you'll also be producing more milk. That's one of the main things I've noticed when working with mothers in general. Their milk, they have more milk in on reserve, on tap. It's an interesting phenomenon. But my thing is, I guess, there's more blood flow. That's one. And some of them already work out, but something with the breathing, in my opinion, it's just also the life flow, because we also do the organ transfer breathing, especially with mothers. Getting that kinetic flow going back and forth, if you want to call it kinetic energy, prana, chi, on a recyclable level with their baby and going back and forth. Super powerful. What we did was thunder breathing. That was a form of thunder breathing. There we go. And still bad connection. It's literally going in and out. Yeah, but if anybody wants to tap in and share their experience, so far. You're more than welcome to. Any more questions? So yeah, I answered that question. Tapped in with that. Magic. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just reminding. My daughter came in and started deep breathing too. Yeah, this is also safe for kids, by the way. Again, the kids are not going to have seizures. This is pure parasympathetic style of breathing. Have you tried whistling and humming at the same time? Yeah, I've tried that before. If that's what you wanted to come on live about, then yes. How's everyone's experience? Blessings for healing connection. Right back to you. All right. Any more questions, guys? Hey, Third Eye Shay. Hey, Shay. Feeling good, love, happiness, prosperity, and peace. I feel amazing. Thank you. Top of the treetop. All right, guys. I'm going to end it here, but if you guys found any value in this, share it. Share it, spread it. But don't just share it, do it. Be consistent with it. Have fun with it. And definitely tap into the mental breath work. You heard some testimonials here. What's the name of the pyramid hat? Link is in my bio. Link is in my bio. Oh, thank you. Yeah, guys. Share this live if you, again, found value. Definitely tap into Breath Family. If you haven't, if you've been on the fence with it, definitely tap in. We're going to be doing breathful workouts coming soon. And we're going to be tapping into breathing like the sun. That whole, I don't want to call it a course. It's more of a journey. I think I like the journey than the course aspect. What do you guys think? I think I actually might change that on the page. Might change it to journey instead of courses, because it really is a journey. Courses, it's like, oh, you go there and then it's all over. Technically, it's not all over. It's like, oh man, this is a new challenge of how I can implement this into my daily life, or a new situation in life that, oh, I never used this for this before. Let's see how this goes. Yeah. Journey. Yeah. I'm definitely feeling more journey than course. Yeah. Thank you, guys. It's the journey, not the destination. Exactly, James. So that's why I feel more alignment to journey than course. I'm definitely going to take out course. All right, guys. Have a breathful day. Peace and leave your comments below of how you feel if you're watching this. And again, share it if you found value.